My name is Kyle, and welcome movie lovers to another episode of Frame by Frame, a series dedicated to the craft of filmmaking. Today we're going to talk about cinematic heroes.
I'm Luke Skywalker, I'm here to rescue you.
American heroes. Heroes like Captain America. He's the quintessential red, white, and blue badass. But what exactly is an American film hero? What's the origin of the archetype? And how do these silver screen supermen reflect our culture at large? To find out, let's roll back the clock to ancient Greece, the birthplace of the Western hero. So what we Americans think of as a hero has its roots in Homer's Iliad. Homeric heroes were warriors who valued honor above all else. They wished to die defending their society's principles. Western heroes also embody the Platonic Aristotelian virtues of justice, courage, and prudence. The journey of Western heroes follows a pattern described in Joseph Campbell's monomyth as well. They leave their home, go through an initiation process, then reintegrate back into society. There they use the skills learned during their initiation to enforce communal justice. Now, as a Western culture, we Americans use this archetype as a basis for our heroes. Just look at Hollywood's most iconic leading men, John Wayne and Humphrey Bogart. What were the roles that defined them? For Wayne, I'd argue it was his turn as Ethan Edwards in John Ford's 1956 film, The Searchers. Wayne played a man who left home to fight as a Confederate in the Civil War. After his battlefield initiation, Wayne reintegrates with his brother's family in West Texas. So when Comanches kill most of his brother's family and kidnap his niece, Wayne uses his combat experience to track the Indians down. A series of events that fit Campbell's monomythic cycle. Furthermore, Wayne's character is a warrior, one who's willing to sacrifice his own prejudice to do the right thing, saving his niece instead of killing her for embracing the Comanche way of life.
Let's go home, Debbie.
All right, Major, you asked for it.
Now take Humphrey Bogart's defining role as Rick Blaine in Michael Curtiz's 1942 film Casablanca. Bogart plays an American expat who fought as a loyalist in the Spanish Civil War. After the conflict, he reintegrates into Morocco's largest city, Casablanca. See the similarities? We've got another warrior whose journey aligns with a monomythic cycle. And when his former lover Elsa requests his help to evade the Nazis, Bogey plies his trade, ultimately sacrificing a second chance with Elsa to help her husband in his fight against the Nazi threat. It's a selfless act, one akin to the sacrifice Wayne makes in The Searchers. But back to Captain America. Before he became Cap, Steve Rogers was a scrawny kid from Brooklyn who left home to fight in WW2. His initiation began with an experimental procedure that turned him into a super soldier. An initiation that came to an end in 1945 when Cap was hurled from an exploding plane into the freezing waters of the North Atlantic. Now, years later, the submariner would find Cap's frozen body, the Avengers would resuscitate him, leading to his reintegration into society. From there, Steve would dole out American justice one shield strike at a time. But does Cap's story adhere to the monomythic cycle? Absolutely. Is he a warrior, though, like all Homeric heroes? Well, yeah, I'd say so, but does he exemplify all three of the Platonic Aristotelian virtues? Well, let's start with courage.
You win wars with guts.
Grenade! Get away! Get back!
Clearly, Steve's got guts, so check on courage. But is he a just man, one who sees violence as a last but necessary recourse against oppression?
Do you want to kill Nazis?
Is this a test?
Yes.
I don't want to kill anyone. I don't like bullies. I don't care where they're from.
Alright, we're 2 for 3, but what about the last virtue, prudence? Well, Cap is known for his self-discipline. The guy is definitely respectful, sometimes to the point of awkwardness, especially when it comes to what he calls, well, fondue.
But what about you and Stark? How do I know you two haven't been fondueing?
Now, the final question. Is Cap willing, like other Western heroes, to sacrifice himself for the greater good? Well, do you remember that plane crash I mentioned earlier? If not, let's cue up the first Cap movie to see how it went down. No pun intended.
You know, I still don't know how to dance.
I'll show you how. Just be there.
We'll have the band play something slow. I'd hate to step on your...
Steve?
Unquestionable proof that Steve is willing to sacrifice himself for the cause. Now, as we've seen with Cap, Ethan, and Rick, American heroes follow the Western archetype. But what makes American heroes different from any other?
That's what's got to be in it.
What?
The Capitol Dome.
On paper?
I want to make that come to life for every boy in this land. Yes, and all light it up like that, too.
Well, like any society's champions, American heroes are used to promote our cultural values, or to represent political attitudes of their time. Take, for example, the fact that America is a democracy. It's no coincidence Captain America's villains were frequently symbols of rival forms of government. Red Skull representing fascism, Alexander Lutkin communism, Flag Smasher anarchism, the list goes on. In Casablanca, Rick is the personification of pre-World War II American isolationism. Just watch this exchange to see what I'm talking about.
If you're thinking of warning him, don't put yourself out. He cannot possibly escape. I stick my neck out for nobody. A wise foreign policy.
Rick's decision to help Ilsa against the Germans, however, is a political statement as well, one justifying the United States' eventual involvement in World War II. And in The Searchers, the Comanches commit crimes so heinous that Ethan's racism almost seems warranted. It's an attempt to rationalize our ancestors' role in the genocide of the Native American. Also bear in mind that each of these men is literally willing to die for their communities, which is no accident considering every society needs citizens who value its well-being more than their own. To sum up, Cap and other American heroes have their foundation in Western mythology. Who they are, however, is reflective of the American values of their time. So we should embrace characters like Steve Rogers, because in the end, regardless of their faults, they'll always be our heroes. Now Cap, like all the heroes I mentioned, is a formidable American icon, which makes him a perfect representative of this month's Loot Crate theme, Power, an ode to audacious Avengers and freedom fighters everywhere. But while Cap's off saving the day, let's talk about the savings you could have with Loot Crate, a monthly subscription service that delivers a crate like this one to your door every month. Inside is a variety of licensed gear, merchandise, you name it. A $40 value for less than $20 a month. All you need to do is sign up by the May 19th cutoff at 9 p.m. Pacific to get your loot. So, if you'd like to join, follow the URL on screen and enter the code FRAME to save 10% on your subscription. This time, the path to power is just a click away. Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen, and make sure to subscribe to this channel, Film Theory, for more fantastic film-related content. If you'd like to check out more Frame by Frame, click the frame to the left to watch an episode on how Marvel demonstrates character through action. Or click the frame to the right to check out a Film Theory episode on Ant-Man. And until next time, my name is Kyle, and this has been Frame by Frame.